During the long journey of human history, there were once great cities that shined like stars in the sky of civilization, where power, art, and knowledge came together at the highest level. However, over time, many of these places slowly disappeared, buried under the dust of time, destroyed by harsh nature, or collapsed because of human changes. These lost cities are not only empty ruins, but also unfinished stories and mysteries that people have never fully explained. Every old wall with moss and every broken stone floor seems to whisper about a golden age that has gone far into the past. From thick tropical forests and deep oceans to wide deserts and high cliffs, the forgotten cities still exist quietly, both mysterious and fascinating. They not only challenge human curiosity, but also make people want to explore things beyond the limits of known history. Exploring lost cities is not only about going back to the past, but also about entering a conversation across time, where the present touches the signs of great civilizations, and we realize that every glory, no matter how bright, can become a legend. Hidden in the mist and the great mountains of the Andes Mountains, Machu Picchu appears like a dream left from the Inca Empire. Built in the 15th century, this city was once a religious center or a royal resting place, before it was abandoned and forgotten for hundreds of years. What makes Machu Picchu amazing is not only its dangerous location, but also its incredible building skill, where big stones were put together so closely that even a knife cannot go between them. When the sunrise comes, the light goes through the clouds and shines on the old stone steps, making this place feel sacred and mysterious, like a gate that leads to the past. Hidden in the dry desert of Jordan, Petra is a great work of architecture carved directly into the red sandstone cliffs. This city was once a rich trading center of the Nabatean people, where ancient trade routes met each other. Buildings like Al-Khazneh, also called the Treasury, are impressive not only because of their great beauty, but also because of the fine carving skill. When the sunlight changes during the day, the color of the stone also changes from light pink to deep red, making the place look alive, like it is breathing. After many centuries of being abandoned, Petra still stands there, quiet, mysterious, and attractive, like a secret of the desert that has never been fully revealed. Once the center of power of the Khmer Empire, Angkor is a huge architectural complex where nature and humans mix together so much that it is hard to see the border between them. Temples like Angkor Wat and Ta Prohm not only show very high skill in building and art, but also have deep spiritual meaning. When the empire became weak and ended, the jungle slowly covered the whole area, and big tree roots moved through the stone walls, creating a scene that is wild, but also very great. Walking in Angkor, people feel like they are entering a world forgotten by time, where the past is still present in every moss-covered stone. Pompeii is one of the clearest examples of the destructive power of nature and the weakness of humans. In the year 79 AD, the strong eruption of Mount Vesuvius buried the whole city under thick ash and dust, freezing everything at one fatal moment. The special thing is that Pompeii did not disappear completely, but was kept almost the same, from houses and wall paintings to the marks of people in their final moments. Today, when visitors walk on the old stone roads, they feel like going back in time and can clearly feel the life of a Roman city that was once busy, but stopped by fate in a second. In the middle of the thick jungle of Central America, Tikal rises like an ancient city that was forgotten but never lost its greatness. It was once one of the biggest centers of the Maya civilization, and Tikal has very tall pyramids that rise above the green forest like towers of time. The sounds of the jungle, such as birds and howling monkeys, mix with the silence of the ruins and create an atmosphere that is both lively and mysterious. When people stand on the top of the pyramids and look at the endless forest, they can easily feel the greatness of a civilization that once reached a high level before nature slowly swallowed it. Teotihuacan is one of the most mysterious ancient cities in the world, where even the identity of the people who built it is still not clearly known. This city is famous for the big road called the Road of the Dead, and the huge pyramids like the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon. When standing in that large space, people can easily feel the size and the ambition of a civilization that was once very advanced. However, for reasons that are still unknown, Teotihuacan was abandoned very early, leaving many questions without answers. This mystery makes the place become one of the most fascinating lost cities on Earth. Hidden deep in the jungle of Sierra Nevada, Ciudad Perdida, which means lost city, is one of the most mysterious places in South America. Built in the 9th century, earlier than Machu Picchu, this place was once the center of the Tairona civilization. To reach this city, visitors must go on a trekking journey for many days, crossing jungles, rivers, and ancient stone steps. When they arrive, round stone platforms built in levels appear in the wild nature, like signs of a lost world. Not noisy and not crowded, Ciudad Perdida has a natural and quiet beauty that is very rare. Mesa Verde is proof of the amazing ability of humans to adapt to a harsh environment. Located in the steep cliffs in the southwest of the United States, the stone houses built by the ancestral Pueblo people hundreds of years ago still remain almost the same today. From far away, these buildings look like they are attached to the mountain, both hidden and very strong. Not only a place to live, Mesa Verde also shows a society that had good organization and surprising building skills. When standing in front of these ancient structures, people cannot help but admire the intelligence and the strong spirit of humans in conquering nature. Great Zimbabwe is a symbol of an African civilization that was once very strong and developed, but not well known in the world. The huge stone walls were built without cement, with smooth curves but very strong, making a unique architectural complex. This city was once an important political and economic center, controlling the trade routes of gold and ivory. However, over time, the place was slowly abandoned and became forgotten. Today, Great Zimbabwe is not only a historical site, but also a reminder of a glorious time of Africa, a time that the world history ignored for a very long time. Hampi was once the magnificent capital of the Vijayanagara Empire, and old explorers described it as one of the richest and most beautiful cities in the world. Spread over a very large area, Hampi is famous for its temples, palaces, and ancient markets built from stone, standing between huge natural rocks. After being destroyed in the 16th century, the city was slowly abandoned, leaving a scene that is both great and ruined. When the sunset comes, the light turns the old ruins into gold color, making Hampi look quiet and full of emotion, like a memory that has never faded. In the deep blue sea of the Pacific Ocean, Nan Madol appears like a mysterious city built from stone in the middle of the ocean. Built on many artificial islands connected by water canals, this place was once the religious and political center of the Sotalur people. Huge basalt stones were stacked on each other without clear proof of how people moved them, and this still makes scientists argue today. There was no natural fresh water and no farming land, but Nan Madol still existed for many centuries, which is a very fascinating mystery. When the sea waves touch the old stone walls, the city feels like it is telling the story of a forgotten civilization in the endless ocean. Carthage was once one of the strongest powers in the Mediterranean, and it was a great enemy of Rome during the hard Punic Wars. This city was once rich, busy, and one of the most important trade centers in the ancient world. However, after losing to Rome, Carthage was almost completely destroyed and became a symbol of a tragic fall. Today, the ruins that remain lie along the coast of Tunisia, carrying the signs of a glorious time that is gone. Walking among these ruins, people can clearly feel the heavy silence of history, a reminder that even the greatest empires cannot stop the flow of time. Troy is a place where the line between history and legend becomes unclear. Known from the epic Iliad and the Trojan War, this city was once believed to be only imagination, until archaeologists discovered many layers of ruins built on each other. Each layer of earth shows a time in history, a time when the city was built and then destroyed. Troy is not only a city, but also a symbol of war, love, and betrayal. When standing among the ancient ruins, people feel like they can hear the sound of old battles, where the story of the Trojan horse still lives in human memory. Persepolis was once the magnificent capital of the Persian Empire, showing the great power and wealth of an ancient civilization. Tall stone columns and detailed carvings showing messengers from many parts of the world created a living picture of prosperity. But everything was burned when Alexander the Great came and destroyed the city. Today, Persepolis is only ruins in the desert, but its grand and noble beauty is still there. The sunset light covering the ancient columns makes the place look like an eternal memory of an empire that once stood at the top of the world. Hidden deep under the ground, Derinkuyu is a large underground city that could hold thousands of people, built to protect them from war and invasion. With many tunnels, rooms, churches, food storage places, and a smart air system, this place looks like a small world under the surface of the earth. The amazing thing is that the whole structure was dug many meters deep using very simple tools. When walking down the narrow and dark paths, people feel both uncomfortable and surprised by the intelligence of ancient humans. Derinkuyu is not only a hiding place, but also proof of the strong survival instinct of humans. Chanchan was the largest earthen city in the pre-Columbian Americas and was once the center of power of the Chimu civilization. Different from strong stone buildings, Chan Chan was built completely from clay, creating a unique architectural complex with walls carved with fine patterns. This city once had an advanced water system and city planning, showing a surprising level of development. However, the building material also made Chan Chan easy to wear away over time. Today, the ruins that remain have a fragile beauty, as if one strong wind could erase the last signs of a civilization that was once brilliant. Skara Brae is one of the best preserved Stone Age settlements in the world, buried under sand for thousands of years before it was discovered again. The stone houses, with furniture like beds, shelves, and fireplaces still in place, give a rare view of human life more than 5,000 years ago. Unlike great cities, Skara Brae has a simple but very real beauty. When standing among these small houses, people feel like time has never passed. This is not only a lost city, but also a door that opens to the daily life of ancient ancestors. Leptis Magna was once one of the most magnificent Roman cities, located on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. With stone roads, a large theater, arches, and old markets, this place clearly showed the development of the Roman Empire. After being abandoned, the desert slowly covered the whole area and accidentally kept the buildings almost unchanged. When it was discovered again, Leptis Magna looked like a city frozen in time. The desert sunlight shining on the ancient columns creates a scene that is both harsh and very beautiful, like proof that architecture can survive even when time destroys many things. Once called the City of 1,000 Churches, Ani was an important cultural and religious center in the Middle Ages. Located near the modern border between Turkey and Armenia, this city once grew strongly before it was destroyed by war, earthquakes, and economic decline. Today, broken churches, city walls, and old buildings still stand quietly in the empty grassland. The wind blowing through the fallen domes makes sounds like echoes from the past. Ani is not only a forgotten city, but also a symbol of how thin the line is between glory and collapse. Sigiriya is a unique stone fortress on the top of a huge rock in the middle of the plains of Sri Lanka. Built in the 5th century, this place was once a royal palace with carefully planned gardens and a complex water system. A special part of Sigiriya is the ancient wall paintings and the famous Lion Gate that leads to the top of the rock. When climbing each step, visitors not only go higher, but also slowly enter a historical place full of mystery. From the top, the whole landscape opens in a grand view, making Sigiriya one of the most impressive lost cities in Asia. Sukhothai is considered the beginning of Thai civilization, where the first culture, art, and writing of Thailand were formed. It was once a bright capital in the 13th century, and Sukhothai is known for its elegant temples, grand Buddha statues, and lakes that reflect a peaceful view. When the kingdom declined, the city was slowly abandoned, leaving a quiet place that feels forgotten by time. Today, among the old ruins and green trees, Sukhothai has a gentle and deep beauty. Not as grand as Angkor, and not as mysterious as Machu Picchu, this place touches the heart with its calm feeling, like a soft memory of the past that still echoes. Baalbek is one of the greatest Roman temple complexes ever built, famous for its huge stone blocks that are still a mystery about how they were moved and placed. The very tall columns of the Temple of Jupiter stand strongly in the Beka Valley, creating a scene that is both grand and amazing. It was once an important religious center, and Baalbek shows the power and ambition of the Roman Empire. Over time, wars and earthquakes made the place become ruins, but its great beauty still remains. When standing among the ancient columns, people feel very small in front of the greatness of history and what ancient civilizations could achieve. Akrotiri is often called the Pompeii of Greece because it was buried under volcanic ash after a terrible eruption on the island of Santorini. The special thing is that this city was preserved very well, with multi-story houses, a drainage system, and colorful wall paintings. Pictures of daily life, such as people, animals, and the sea, were kept as if time had stopped. Unlike many other ancient cities, Akrotiri does not feel ruined, but feels like a world frozen in one moment. When walking through the old halls, people can clearly feel the life of a civilization that disappeared in a single moment. Cahokia was once the largest city in North America before Europeans arrived, with a population that may have reached tens of thousands of people, which was an amazing number at that time. The city was famous for its huge earth mounds built on purpose, and Monk's Mound was the biggest structure among them. This place was not only a political center, but also a place for important religious ceremonies. Different from ancient cities, the ghost towns in the Great Basin are signs of a time that is not very far away, the time of the gold rush that changed the history of the United States. These towns were once busy with miners, traders, and dreams of becoming rich, but now only broken wooden houses, empty windows, and dusty roads remain. When the resources were gone, people left, and the place became empty and haunted. The desert wind blows through the ruined buildings and creates a feeling of loneliness and cold silence. These modern lost cities tell stories not only about dreams and ambition, but also about how fragile things can be even when they look strong. Mohenjo-Daro was one of the most advanced ancient cities in the world, belonging to the Indus Valley civilization. The city was planned with a grid street system, a complete drainage system, and public buildings like the Great Bath, showing an amazing level of organization. The special thing is that even though the city was highly developed, it disappeared in a mysterious way without clear signs of war. The baked brick roads and the remaining walls seem to tell the story of a society that once reached a high level of civilization. Mohenjo-Daro is not only a ruin, but also a big question in human history that still has no clear answer. Taxila was once an important center of knowledge and culture in the ancient world, where many civilizations such as India, Persia, and Greece met each other. It is considered one of the first universities in human history, where scholars came to study philosophy, medicine, and science. The city grew strongly because it was located on important trade routes. However, over time and after many invasions, Taxila slowly declined and was abandoned. Today, the remaining ruins have a quiet beauty that reminds people of a time when knowledge was respected as the most valuable treasure of humans. Ubar, often called the Atlantis of the desert, was a legendary city that once stood on an important incense trade route. According to stories, the city was swallowed by sand in one night as a punishment from the gods. Modern excavations found signs of an ancient settlement, which partly supports this story. In the middle of the wide desert, the ruins of Ubar have a lonely and mysterious beauty. The desert wind blows over the remains, as if it is slowly erasing the memory of a city that once existed. Ubar is proof that nature can hide and remove all signs of human life. Atlantis is the greatest symbol of all lost cities, an advanced civilization that was said to disappear under the ocean in only one night. It was first written about by Plato, and Atlantis is not only a story, but also an endless inspiration for science, literature, and movies. Until today, nobody knows if Atlantis really existed or if it was only a philosophical idea. But this mystery made it become an immortal legend. Atlantis does not only represent a lost city, but also a reminder of the rise and fall of every civilization. Lost cities are not only ruins of stone and time, but also remaining memories of humanity, where the past still quietly exists under the dust of history. From Machu Picchu hidden in the mountain clouds, Petra shining red in the desert, to Atlantis deep in legend, each lost city is a story that never truly ends. They remind us that no matter how great a civilization is, it can still be erased by nature, war, or human mistakes. But because of that, what remains becomes more valuable than ever, like the last signs of a dream that once existed. Maybe the reason lost cities are so fascinating is not what we already know, but the mysteries that are still hidden. And somewhere in this world, there may still be lost cities that have not been found, waiting for the day they wake up and continue the unfinished story of history.